Yo, it's Trent. Hope everyone's having a good day, good week so far. And we got Florida Hotbox Storytime, or the Florida Hotbox Storytime. So, usually in Florida, right, I only was there for like 9, 10 months living there, right? Not even a year. And it was right after high school. And I had some money saved up, right? Not a whole lot, but enough to, move out for a little bit and not hang out, but the plan was to go to work, get life going. But what ended up happening was I worked for a couple days, dude. Absolutely hated the job I was in. Quit, and I told myself, oh, I'll get another job before I run out of money, right? That's not what happened. I just started partying hardcore, right? And just partied through that money in however many months had to move back, right? So, it was a waste, you could say, but it was also a super fun amount of time. During that time, every single day, and it only took me less than a week to find friends there, right? Because I would walk around the neighborhood shirtless, right, at like 9 a.m. because it's Florida, it's always hot. So I'd wake up at 9 a.m., it'd already be like 85 degrees out. I'd go walk and get the mail and smoke. That's how I met my friends, right? So I'd hang out with one of the 5 people I've met like every day. I also moved down there with a friend. So no matter what, there was someone to smoke with or someone to hang with or something to do, right? And everyone except one person in this group always had stuff on them too. So like we could match. It's not even like I had to smoke everybody up, which I absolutely loved it, right? But as far as hotboxes go, I hotboxed alone once and once with my friend. Besides that, there was no opportunities until this story, until today, right? We're going back in time for this. So I wake up and I do my normal routine. I wake up and I roll like 2 to 4 blunts. I think I rolled 2 of them though. I rolled a couple blunts and I was like, okay, I'll take one out, and then if I'm gonna hang out with somebody, I'll come back, grab a water, grab the other blunt, go meet up with them, right? So I go get the mail and I'm smoking and I'm texting people who can hang out, right? And some of the kids, some of the people were a year younger than us. So if we just graduated high school, they still have to go to school, right? And it was summer, but it was also like August. It was like, literally the start of the school year. So I can't remember if it was at the same time people were going to school or not. That's not really important. But either way, it gets to like, most of the day I really didn't do much. I played like Madden and Fortnite alone, right? So it gets to around 5 o'clock. My friend gets back from, I think, work or school. He wouldn't get back from school that late, so he must have been back from work, right? So he's back and we're hanging out and we're like, hey, let's go find people to smoke with, right? So we text our one friend and he's like, yeah, I can meet up. So we walk to this parking lot, not a far walk, like a 5-minute walk. And usually I would hate walking, but in Florida, dude, I loved it just because this neighborhood was like, it was like its own private little island. Not actually, it was not an island or anything like that. But I mean, like, there's the main roads, and then the neighborhoods are like, you go down this super long road and then turn down another road, go through a circle, a roundabout, and then you're in our neighborhood. Like, it was super secure and protected, you could say. So walking around was super fun because we just smoked knowing that there was like one cop for 3 huge neighborhoods. Like, no way we're gonna get caught, right? So we're walking, we meet up with our friend, right? And he's like, yo, get in the car. So it's us 3 and let me think, 1, 2, 3, and there's 2 more seats available, right? The middle one, the bitch seat, and the back passenger seat. Now, I didn't really know these other guys that my friend wanted to pick up. I don't know if I said that already, but my friend was like, yeah, there's some other guys that want to hang out too, right? We're all going to smoke, right? And usually we'd get picked up with other people, just we knew them usually. We didn't know these guys, so we had to go pick them up. We go to these apartments that were across the street and we pick them up, right? And we drove for maybe like 5, 10 minutes. I got to put on a few songs, which was always my favorite because they played so much Florida rap that I got to put on Juice and no one really listened to Juice. So I'd put on unreleased Juice and it would go so hard. And people would be like, Juice made songs like this? I'd be like, hell yeah, he did. I love that, right? So we pull up to a different set of apartments, and now I'm in the back right seat, my friend's in the passenger seat, and then I got 2 kids I've never met before to my left, and I had 2 blunts with me, right? I'm sure I had like 5 blunts at the house, but because I was sitting there all day alone, I'm sure I smoked some of them. So let's just say I had 2 blunts with me, right? Well, I know I had 2 blunts with me. The other kid had a blunt, the other kid had a blunt, and then the driver, my friend, he smoked heavy, right? So he had a whole arrangement of things. I know he had a joint. He was a joint guy more than blunts, but because we were all hotboxing, he got blunts, right? And I didn't even know we were hotboxing yet. I thought we were just gonna walk around and smoke. But he tells us, he's like, yeah, my mom's not gonna have to use this car, because I'm pretty sure they shared a car. I'm not too sure about that. They didn't always, but for a little bit, right? And he's like, no one has to use the car for a few days. Let's hotbox it. And we're like, hell yeah, dude, this is gonna be awesome. So we were trying to think, how should we do this? Obviously, you don't want to go one at a time, but you don't want to light up all of them, because I have done something like that before with friends, and if you keep passing around, you're never going to have a chance to breathe. It'll get you, you'll feel great, but it's not really relaxing, right? Because it's just quick and boom, right? So we lit 2 of them, and we still had like 3 more. So we start those 2, we go through them in like 10-15 minutes, and I was stoned, right? I was like a 4 out of 10 stone. I was feeling good, right? I wasn't like super high by any means, but I was chilling. But it was potent in there, right? It was a smaller car, and all of us have things lit, or not all of us, but like 3 out of 5 of us had things lit. So we're passing around, and it's getting smoky in there, right? We finished one, and we finished it to like almost the brim, and then he just put it in the cup holders. We didn't even have to roll down the window to throw out the other blunts. So we light the next set of them. We smoke those in like 10-20 minutes as well, and now I was really high. I was shot from a 4 out of 10 straight to an 8 out of 10. Like, I was high, right? And then I'm just sitting there, and in my head, I was good, right? Because we were just sitting there. The car's completely hotbox. Like, I could see in front of me, but like, I could only see the seat. I couldn't even see my friend's head. I could only see like the part he was resting, so the headrest, right? And I'm sitting there like, man, I could fall asleep. I could probably eat something. I know I could use a drink. I always had cotton mouth during these things. And you would think I would bring a drink with me, but I never did. So I'm sitting there, and I was honestly, like, not tapping out, but I would have been ready to be done there, right? The kid next to me, too, he looked like he was nearly asleep. He had his head back on the window, and he was just, like, relaxing, you could say. Like, you could tell he was just dealing with what was going on. Like, we all wanted to get stoned, but we were real stoned, and he was laying there just like, just enjoying it, or going through it, whatever you want to say. Then my friend pulls out his 2 things, right? He had a joint or a blunt or something like that. He had a joint and a blunt, or 2 joints and a blunt. He pulls out the final, you could say. And all of us in the car, except for him, went like, oh, dude, are you kidding me? Like, no way, not more. Like, can't we just sit here and sit in the smoke and be done? Because we were all like to the point where we could have slept, except the driver, right? Because he smoked pretty heavy. So I'm like, I'm good, dude. Like, I don't need to smoke anymore. But I would, right? Because I always made it a point of like, I don't need to smoke more, but I'm not a bitch, right? Like, if it's offered to me, I'm gonna smoke, right? And I had this tiny piece of me, I guess it's ego, it's definitely ego. I had my little bit of ego was like, hey, I can smoke more than you, right? Even though I didn't think I could, I still needed to, that's how I felt. I don't know why that's a thing. It just, I have a little competitive edge, right? So when he lights the new ones and the other people are like, I'm good, I'm like, give me that thing, right? So then we're just passing back and forth, joint, blunt, joint, blunt, joint, blunt. I had no interest by the last, like, probably 20 minutes we were in there. I had no interest. We sat in there for like 2 hours, dude. Or maybe not that long, maybe like an hour and a half. But we were in there like an entire movie length, just smoking, sitting in the smoke, light a new one, sitting in the smoke, light a new one. So by round 3, I was done for, right? And I'm hitting these blunts, and I was nearly about to tap out. And just listen to this, right? My cotton mouth was so bad that I didn't even have cotton mouth anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I was so past the point of needing a drink and my throat burning that I was just like dealing with no liquid in my mouth, no saliva, anything. I was just like, whatever, right? It felt like my mouth was just a brick. And so I'm ripping this thing. It's nearly finished, and I'm looking at it, and like my vision's shaky. I was way too high to keep going, right? And I was like, okay. I got one more rip in me, right? And I look at my friend, and the blunt was still, you know how blunts go. Blunts go down slow, especially when you're real stoned and you want to go quicker. You know that thing's lit, right? So there was like this much left, and I'm holding the joint, which is almost burned out because those go quicker than blunts. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish this off, and I'm good, dude. So I finished it off, right? And I'm sitting there, and I closed my eyes just because my head, like, you know when you stand up too quick and you feel that heaviness in your temples? That's what I was feeling just normally. Like, of course, when you get stoned, you feel it in your temples, right? But I was past the point of stoned. I was past the point of no return. I could have slumped. I was about to slump. I had to do what the dude was doing a minute ago, right? When he was like just phasing out. That's what I had to do just to be okay, right? So for a minute, I put my head back, but that made me nauseous. So I put my head forward against the seat, and I just had my head like this, and everybody starts laughing, right? And I'm wondering, what are they laughing at? So I open my eye, look up, and my friend, the driver, is holding the blunt towards me, right? Like I said, I didn't want to keep going, but I didn't want to look like a bitch. So I grabbed that thing, and I hit it like 3 more times. That sent me, dude. I was about to puke everywhere. I handed it to him. I was like, I gotta tap out. I gotta get out of the car. And everybody's laughing. Everybody's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. But I got out of that car, dude. The fresh air hit me. And even though it was like probably between 6 and 7 p.m., it was still warm, but it wasn't hot anymore. You know, like the sun, it wasn't setting or anything. It was just getting not as hot out, right? Like the weather was finally letting up, dude. I stood out there just like this and like let the wind hit me like for 5 minutes. I thought I was gonna puke everywhere. Then there was a little kids park right there, and we all walked to the little kids park, and everybody's doing like the monkey bars and the pull-up bars, dude. I was just sitting, staring straight at the wood chips. Like, that's exactly how I was. I was just so stoned. I was like a statue, dude. I was just sitting there like, I was like that for like an hour, like a whole hour. Finally get home, dude, and I was so hungry. I hadn't eaten all day, right? I go into the pantry, I grab SpaghettiOs, I look at it, and I'm like, I should heat this up, but I was so high and so hungry, and I just didn't care, dude. I ripped that thing open, grabbed a spoon, and just started eating it cold. And there's meatballs in there. Like, come on, man. You know, the Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, I was just eating it right out of there. So, it's Florida Hotbox. Fucking, we hotbox the entire car. I get home, I crush some cold SpaghettiOs, and I'm sure I passed out within like 20 minutes of that, because I don't know, dude. But I will say, I didn't give enough credit to myself during this one moment. Cottonmouth is horrible, right? Just normally. But when your throat's burning, it feels like your nose is burning, like your chest burns. Your mouth is so like, it feels like you're just holding paper towels in your mouth, dude. And I sat there for like an hour and a half, no drink. But neither did my friend. So like, and he wasn't complaining. So it's not that good of a thing, or I shouldn't be that proud of myself, but if you know, you know. Like, going without a drink for that long is rough. You're just hitting the nicotine hoping it's enough, but it's not. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want special shorts, special videos, early access to videos, live stream access, and polls, special polls, you can become a member today. Anyways, thank you for watching. You ever need anything, you can comment. I'll do my best to answer if it's positive, or you're going through something, you really need someone to talk to. My Instagram, same name as my YouTube. Also, it's linked in the more info, channel info, whatever. Go in there, DM me, and I'll get back to you within a day. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Peace out. Gotta love a hot box. Bears play 1 week from today. Go Bears.